Hey guys, this is SHAREfactory coming at you with Drunken Gaming, and this is my DragonKnight PvP build. I normally don't do videos like this. I normally just throw out PvP videos, but out of a lot of the research and everything I found a lot of people running Vampirism as their Dragon Knights. I tried it, did not enjoy it. So this is a build around not running Vampirism. So we'll dive right into it. We'll get right into the gear to start with. I am running xHellx-Hammer. I do need to fix that enchant. I tried to run Shacklebreaker. I liked Shacklebreaker, but I'm a big fan of Kags, so I'm going to stick with it. xHellx Shield. Now, you'd be better off to run Sturdy, not Reinforced. I ran my Shacklebreaker as Sturdy, and I liked it a little bit better. Reinforced is probably not the best, but since it's already legendary, I just need a few more transmutation stones and I can switch that around. Running the restoration staff of xHellx Hope. It is defending, so you want that nice defense when you're on the back bar. I ran out of my other poisons, but this one was kind of sufficing for now. The one I was running is the Escapist poison, and that one will immobilize them, slow them down, and grant you immunities to immobilizing effects. So that's really, really good. Now moving down, I'm running Grothar. I prefer it over Velkin Scoria because Velkin Scoria is kind of hard to control where the Velkin Scoria is going to proc, like who it's going to proc on. Grothar is a little easier because it's basically right around your feet. So if you're like me and you're fighting one or two people, I'm probably going to Burning Embers one or two of them with my Burning Talons. Velkin Scoria can hit either one. I kind of want to have it focused. Velkin Scoria is very good. I kind of bounce between the two. I'm not exactly sure which one I want to use, but I do like Grothar's max Magicka over Velkin Scoria's max health because I'm running xHellx. And xHellx gives me that max health as well, so having that little bit extra Magicka from the Grothar is better. When Shacklebreaker, you would get some of that back. I'm running Tri-Enchants on my big pieces. Now this chest piece was a big mistake. As you can see, the transmutation little symbol, I put Reinforced. This was a bad idea. Running Sturdy would probably be better. Impen is what I'm going to go with. I am running two pieces of Sturdy. And there's the other one. As you can see, it's not all legendaried out because I was testing different builds, and this one seems to be the best for me. The Sun is my next set I'm running. Unfortunately, this is the only gold piece I do not have of the Sun. And I am running 3 spell damage, max spell damage. Enchants there. So that's pretty good considering this is me unbuffed, other than, you know, your food buff and with the Atronach. I find with a heavy build you have to run the Atronach, you just don't have the recovery to place it elsewhere. You can try, but I am telling you, you need the Atronach. That is just kind of a, if you're going to take anything from this video, take that. If you're in a heavy armor build, you're going to need that for sure. So 5 heavy, 2 light. I found a way of running it without having to use the weapons, and that was just use the xHellx. So on my back bar, I only have the 4-piece, but I'm not really doing that much for damage other than Talons, but that's not a big deal. So down into skills, get right into it. We're running Flames of Oblivion. This one was kind of a no-brainer. Engulfing Flames is also a no-brainer because that 10% more fire damage. And Stone Giant. Now, the other morph is not bad, but the healing isn't that great, and this one's better because you get the Minor Resolve, in my opinion. And it actually does a decent amount of damage. Now, you can switch this out, and you can run Fossilize, which also works very, very well. And Fossilize is pretty... It's pretty foolproof. It won't let you Fossilize if the person cannot be CC'd. The range does kind of suck, where Stone Giant you have a little bit farther of a range. So, but Fossilize is good. I've used it before. I like it. I'm kind of still bouncing in between the two. Not exactly sure which one is better, but test it out. Try it out for yourself. Then Burning Embers. I like Burning Embers a lot. It's pretty cheap costing ability, does a lot of damage, and heals you for a lot as well. Another thing you can do if you're in large group play is you can run Draw Essence. This is a really good ability instead of running Burning Embers because it hits everyone around you, it heals you, and you know, you blow up, you do more damage. It's a pretty good group play kind of ability. So it's really nice for that. And then the last one is Flame Lash. This one is kind of a known-brainer. This is where your whole build lies as a Magicka DragonKnight of this caliber. So you basically always want to set everybody off balance and get that double Flame Lash. You do not want to use this ability unless you're going to get the Flame Lash. The biggest reason is you don't have a whole lot of magic. You don't have a whole lot of magic or recovery, so the last thing you want to be doing is burning people and just burning magic for no reason. It's not a steep costing ability, but still, try and conserve. Biggest thing is you want to keep burning embers up and engulfing flames at all times. And last but not least is Ferocious Leap. Now, the other morph does physical damage. Since we're Magicka build, Ferocious Leap is better because it's flame damage. The other one's physical, and it gives you a buff, which is pretty cool. 52% of your max health. I'm just about at 30k health in Cyrodiil. So that's quite a bit of a shield to get from that. So it allows you to kind of, it's an emergency, does lots of damage, whatever, all that kind of good stuff. Back into your other bar is Degeneration. I just started using this, and I'm an idiot for using Molten Ornaments. Wow, almost said arrangements. This is good, lasts for a long time, but it's very heavily costing. That's just about a 42k Magicka buff, where if you had all your points in the Mages Guild, it'd be even cheaper. I've been lazy and I haven't farmed the Mages Guild, so I only have 1 point here. That's something I need to do. It's going to be the 4th time I'm going to max out Mages Guild, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass. And the other reason why you want max Mages Guild is for the might of the guild. You want that empowered, because you can empower your Dragon Leap. So you do your Degeneration, go on a Dragon Leap, you're going to hit like a truck. It's awesome. Next is Hardened Armor. Now you can use Volatile Armor. I've kind of bounced between the two. I might start using Volatile again. I kind of like the Hardened because of the little shield I get, because while I'm trying to buff in mid-combat, I'm not blocking. So that little bit of health plus gives you a little bit of a shield, kind of gives you that little bit of flexibility for that. Volatile's a little better for picking out Nightblades, things like that, because of the AoE spread. This is basically your only kind of heal that you can control other than using Flame Lash and Burning Embers, as well as your ultimate, is Coagulating Blood. Now, I suggest don't use this unless you're under 50% health, because it doesn't really, it goes up to 33% of your missing health. So under 50% is kind of when you want to use that, and it gives you more recovery. Since we're not a vampire, that actually makes a pretty good difference. Now, most of the time, you would use Mistform to escape and stuff. I prefer the Chain Pull. Now, this particular morph refunds your ability if they cannot be CC'd. But it also still gives you your major expedition. So this kind of gives you your ability to run. Plus, it still does damage, even if it refunds it. And if they can be CC'd, well, you just pull them to you. You go right into Burning Talons. Now, I tried Choking Talons. I don't like Choking Talons because of the way I play this build. You're going to Talons them, and then you're going to stand behind the target. You don't want to stand in front of it and face tank him. You want to go behind him because he can't turn around while he's in your Talons. So having that 15% damage reduction to me is kind of useless because you're going to be standing behind him. Unless you're fighting another Magicka DK, but you're not a vampire, so you're not too worried about the amount of fire damage he's throwing at you. You'd rather burn him because most people are running vampirism as Magicka DragonKnights. I wanted to steer clear from it, didn't want to use it. I do have Magma Shell here. Not really good. I would not suggest running it. I would try and like pick out Meteor or something if you can, because you can drop Meteor and then go into the into your chain pull, and so you drop your Meteor, you can chain pull them to you, and your Meteor can hit them and they can't block it because your chain pull is kind of screwed up. I know this because my buddy also plays a very similar build on Xbox One. Me and him kind of put this build together. And so yeah, he runs Meteor on his back bar and this chain, so he'll drop Meteor, he'll chain, and it's kind of fucked up to time, because if you do it a little wrong, Meteor will drop where they were and not where you're pulling them to, so you gotta kind of be a little quick at it. Might need an animation cancel, things like that. You'll get used to it eventually. I am running a resto staff. You can run a destro staff, and you can kind of switch some stuff around to make up for the destruction staff. But if you're having a hard time sustaining this weakness to elements, one of the morphs allows you to regenerate Magicka as you hurt them. So this doesn't cost anything. You can just throw it on as many fucking people as you want. And Grothstar also will account for this. So when you have your when you have this on a couple people, while they're being attacked, you generate 300 Magicka for every single person that you have this on. So if Grothstar and your Burning Talons and all that stuff is going on, you're regenerating Magicka for each person that has this. Plus it also reduces their spell resistance. So you're going to hit even harder. So you can kind of make up for that by throwing that in here and putting maybe your chain pull here instead of your, that's all glitched out for some reason, your Stone Giant here. You can run the chain. You can run the other chain that pulls you to them. The reason why I don't use that one is it doesn't give you the stagger effect. You can still set an enemy off balance using the chain pull, but you got to be quick. So I suggest if you're going to use chain pull to set your enemy off balance, I suggest having it on this bar if you want to get that double flame lash off. So that's kind of a bit of how all your abilities are set up. Like I said, the biggest thing you need is that I don't have is the Mage's Guild and the 2 pieces of armor, which I need to change up. So yeah, you basically, with this build, you want to always make sure to Talons, double flame lash in the back, keep your status effects burning the whole time if you can, and you're going to hold block while you're doing it all. So that is pretty good. I run tri-stat food because I like having the extra max stam and stuff. Other people will run Witch Mother's Brew or whatever you want. The Clockwork Citrus Fillet works as well. There are several foods you can run with this build. It's not very specific. Try out different ones. This was the one I found worked the best for me. Just a simple tri-stat food. Alright, so this guy's going to be our little dummy here, this EP. Thanks to him. We're going to show you how to do this. So I kind of screw up a little bit. I was a little drunk doing this one. So right there I kind of screwed up, but I was trying to get that double lava whip. So that's what you're trying to do the whole time. And you can see him standing behind him. Now when I CC him, I'm standing behind him. That's when I put my block down. So here I'm going to buff up. I put my block down. That's when that recovery is kind of nice. So right here I have my block. He's trying to CC me. He can't. So then we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep working him. See, my block's down. I'm not holding block. There's no reason to. I'm standing behind him. That's where that recovery is nice. I would have empowered that Dragon Leap if I had it, but I don't. So right here we're just going to keep hitting him, and he goes down. That's basically what you need to do. So we'll jump into our CP. Now this is where things get a little different because you're not running Vampirism, and it's the biggest in your Thief tree. So we're running Warlord 37 into Warlord, we're running 29 into Tenacity, 64 into Arcanist, and 34 into Mooncalf. Now I know a lot of people say, well, you can't regenerate stamina while you're holding block. Yes, I'm aware of that. But when you're chasing people, you don't have your block up, somebody's not really, well, they're running away from you, whatever, you're doing whatever. I like to have this little extra stam recovery. I find it's really handy. You could probably pull all those points out and drop them into tenacity or healthy, get a little bit more health. You could put some more into arcanist, and you can basically get your stamina back by swinging your heavy. So those are several different ways you can set that up. The biggest one here are these two. Now, since you're perma-blocking, you're probably wondering, well, why does he have points into tumbling? Well, you don't have vampirism, so you don't have misform to get out of talent. So that's where that poison was kind of nice. And your movability pots, but if you're cheap, whatever, I don't always want to use my movability pots because they're fucking expensive. So I put tumbling. This is just basically when you're fighting another Magicka DragonKnight. That's really all it is. If they're really good, they're going to keep you rooted and fossilized all the time. So they're going to do the same thing you do, and they're going to stand behind you and try and hurt you that way. So that's how you get out of it, because you're not running misform. But you make up for not running misform for this, and you don't take as much damage from fire damage. So you're a lot more tanky this way. And I actually find it a lot better. I find I have a way easier time fighting Dragon Knights. And the other thing is Dawnbreaker. You don't get fucking wrecked by Dawnbreaker. Like, Dawnbreaker just absolutely destroys when you're a vampire. Moving on. Elfborn, Elemental Expert, Spell Erosion is kind of high. You could probably switch some points. That's how I like it. My magic number here is 19%. Some people don't like having Master Arms that high because they're like, well, you're not really doing a whole lot of single target damage. Yeah, but Lava Whip does actually do like a huge difference to that extra 5% that I have in here, or 7%, or however some people else have it set up. I like that 19%. And Dragon Leap. This also counts for Dragon Leap. Yes, Dragon Leap is kind of an AoE because you hit a lot of people and it's an ultimate, but Master at Arms it is a direct attack. It's not a damage over time, it's a direct attack. So it does make a huge difference, and for Meteor as well if you're going to run Meteor. The biggest one, and again there's that 51 points, that 19%, is Thaumaturge. I find if you put any more points than this into these two, the knockoff effect's kind of great. Other people disagree. I like this number. This is where I found it happy. Then we go into Ironclad. Resistance is a bit high, but I kind of like having that. Thick Skin, Hardy, Elemental Defender, Quick Recovery, all that fun stuff. It's all set up in the way I like it. So remember, because you're not running Vampirism, that you don't have that misform, that extra roll dodge is super nice. Because you're going to be sitting there, block, block, block. Fuck, I'm rooted. He's now behind me. What do? I'm going to dodge roll. So, and then I can dodge roll. I'm going to try and dodge roll behind him. And I'm going to do an animation cancel dodge roll. So you're going to go into this bar. You're going to talons and dodge roll back because he's behind you. So your talons is going to get him. And you're going to dodge roll back. Bar swap, go into your double lava whip. Right off the bat. Then you can knock him down with your stone fist. You can petrify right into your dragon leap. It's quite effective indeed. So you can run Burning Spellweave instead of the Sun. Burning Spellweave is good to run. I like the Sun better, just personal choice. The one thing that makes Burning Spellweave nice is your Sun is just a flat, at all legendary, 400 spell damage. That's it. So right now we'd be sitting at 2800 spell damage, flat. But if Burning Spellweave procs, you get more spell damage, plus Burning Spellweave increases your attributes on this particular screen, which then means that your major sorcery and your minor sorcery is going to make that spell damage go even higher. The problem is you have that 4 seconds in the middle, maybe 5, where you're trying to do fire damage where Burning Spellweave is not on. So not all your shit is at its optimal damage all the time. I found the Sun a very nice build. I've tried Burning Spell Weave. Kind of went back and forth. If you can learn to time Burning Spell Weave with your Dragon Leap, and you empower your Dragon Leap, you will find you can hit fucking hard. Because when you're fully buffed up with your major sorcery and your weapon enchant and Burning Spell Weave goes off, you're looking at an extra 200 spell damage compared to the Sun. That's kind of the numbers once you put everything kind of together. That's what that'll give you. One other thing too, when you're running your 5 heavy, your 2 light, something people might not be aware of, you should be aware of. The first 3 skill points are active in any armor, including medium and heavy as well. Even if you're not running all 5, it's only the last 2 pieces, the last 2 skill points that make up for that extra 2. So make sure you have enough skill points and your light armor is high enough, because that's very, very important to run. Also, if you can, super pain in the ass, get your Undaunted. Now you could run a piece of medium and you could get a couple things out of the medium armor. I found the extra light piece was a lot better for the magic recovery, the reduced costs, and the spell resistance. For the extra 2 pieces of light you're wearing compared to that 1 medium, that extra 2% is just about completely meaningless. I'm also a Dark Elf. Lots of other characters work. Breton, you get lots of recovery. I think it's Breton or High Elf, whichever one. Those 2 are good. Argonian, lots of people like Argonian because of the potions. When you drink, you gain all 3 of your stats back. I am a big fan of this right here. This is a nice one. Increase your flame damage by 7%. I found that 7% to be very, very helpful. So I wouldn't suggest jumping around. If you're an Argonian, play whatever suits you best and get used to it. I like the Dark Elf. I found it one of my favorites. Before anyone even asks, I know somebody's going to ask me, the costume, this mask was from the Halloween event. You cannot get it anymore. Costumes, this is the Dark Shaman. I bought it a long time ago. It's come back a couple times, so it might come back again. And the last one is the Infernal Skin. I used to run Bloodforge. Looks dope, especially as a Dark Elf. You look dope as fuck. But yeah, I prefer it that way. So, like, comment, leave a suggestion, any kind of helpful tips, anything like that. Watch some of my other videos and leave me any suggestions, anything else you want to see. I have several other characters, but thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you out. Enjoy, guys.